My name is Canon Hersey. I came to Japan to trace my grandfather, John Hersey's footsteps. He wrote a journalistic work entitled Hiroshima in 1946 that told the US and the world about the human toll of the atomic bombing. I began my research at Yale University and set out to understand my grandfather's experience. Hiroshima changed his life. Hiroshima tells the stories of 6 hibakusha, or atomic bomb survivors. I visited my family and historians to explore the background of the publication of Hiroshima. Unknown stories surfaced from the shadows. I learned how my grandfather took a stand against the US government's decision to drop the atomic bomb. After publishing Hiroshima, I don't know why my grandfather decided to stay silent. He taught me to always respect people beyond race, religion, and nationality. I asked questions about the meaning of Hiroshima. I met with the only living survivor from the book Hiroshima.
He tried to help, but there were so many of them.
She has lived with unforgettably difficult experiences. With the words my grandfather left behind, I look deep into the shadow left by the atomic bombings. My journey to find my own Hiroshima continues.
B-29 was over Hiroshima carrying an atomic bomb. At 8:15 in the morning of August 6th, Japanese time, the first atomic bomb struck an enemy target.
Hiroshima, the city I only knew from words on a page. Now it has colors and smells to me. Once this place was filled with suffering and death. Can I take a picture and understand the shadows of history? Can I inspire empathy in others for the survivors of Hiroshima? Why did my grandfather remain silent for so many years? Why did he come back here and break his silence? With his words, the meaning of memories, I plan to face the reality of the atomic bomb survivors. I visited Nagarekawa Church and met with Ken Tanimoto, a son of Reverend Tanimoto from the book Hiroshima.
See, this is the cross my father made after the A-bomb was dropped and our church was destroyed. And when he started rebuilding a church, he collected burned wood and made this cross. This cross was hidden in the church. And
where was it before?
Well, behind the church.
Oh, really?
Because
in the ground? Or?
Yeah. If people see that church, if survivors see this cross, they remember,
It's painful.
Painful, very painful. So.
Wow.
Reverend Kiyoshi Tanimoto played a key role in the creation of John Hersey's Hiroshima. Tanimoto got his degree at Emory College in the US and became a minister. He came to Hiroshima in 1943. He wrote about the first meeting with John Hersey.
John said, so far many scientific reports has been done on the atomic bombing, but I came here to understand and write about the human perspective. I totally felt I could trust him.
They developed a deep friendship, working together to support atomic bomb survivors. John Hersey revisited Hiroshima in 1985. His old friend Tanimoto joined him. Tanimoto's son Ken and his grandson Hajime were both born after the war.
I feel like that book happened to a large degree out of the courage of your father to tell his story before anyone else was willing to tell their story.
Your grandfather, he wrote what really happened in Hiroshima. And he opened up the door to the world. But my father, he was helped by this book.
Tanimoto gained sympathy from the US public because of Hiroshima and once gave a memorable prayer and speech before Congress. He was also engaged in activities to support the survivors, including initiatives to help women severely wounded in the atomic bombing.
血だらけになり、全身焼けて働いて逃げてきてる人と見たときにね、すまないと思いました。それと同じように、このお嬢さんたちに出会ったときにね、すまん。私が傷ついたらいいのに、どうしてこの人こうなったんだろう。気の毒にね、たまらなかった。
In 1955, Tanimoto brought 25 female survivors from Hiroshima to the US for treatment and surgery with the help of Norman Cousins, an American peace activist.
やがて午前10時30分、一行は岩国の飛行場からアメリカの軍用機で旅立ちました。
アメリカのいかなる罪悪もね、許すことができます。でも、このクリスチャンネーションと言われる、キリスト教国と言われるこのアメリカが、どこの国にも先駆けてね、原爆を落としたということに対しては絶対許すことができない。
Reverend Tanimoto dedicated his life to humanitarian efforts and did everything he possibly could for the survivors of Hiroshima.
I knew after so many years, people said atomic bomb minister.
Yeah.
He was doing for himself, naming for his name. But actually, he didn't feel that way.
We need change. We need something better. And he fought for that. And it always struck me as so sad. Now, I felt that from my grandfather, too, that there was they worked hard and they risked a lot.
Right.
But then they were often criticized.
Not many people knows Kiyoshi Tanimoto.
Yeah.
Even this church.
Yeah.
And after my father left this church, no minister came, and he didn't come to Tanimoto's.
Well, it seems like there was a lot of jealousy.
Maybe so.
It's what I've heard. I mean, what I've seen.
So, children, as a children,
Yeah.
I don't want to say much about it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
So, what you said My father did great things. No. He just worked.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Reverend Tanimoto stood by the survivors, but faced criticism in Japan. My grandfather shared the human stories of Hiroshima and was often criticized. The shadows of society lurked over them. I visited Nobarlicho Church, where my grandfather met with the German priest, Father Kleinsorg. Father Kleinsorg later became a naturalized Japanese citizen and took the name Makoto Takakura. He suffered and died of radiation sickness.
タクラさんは戦前ドイツ人で戦前にこの日本に来日して、そしてこの教会で働いた神父です。そして戦中も働いて被爆者で、その後三笹教会とそして向割れ教会最後まで働いて過ごした私たちの教会の恩人です。皆さん、どうぞそういうことも思い出していただきたいと思います。
初めてお会いした時になんとなく挨拶
Can you tell me about Father Kleinsorg and his strength and his sickness? Can you tell me any memories that you have of Father Kleinsorg?
とっても明るかったですね。声がとっても綺麗な方でしたから、よく歌も歌っておられました。綺麗な声で。そしてあの方は向原がドイツで自分と同じ国のような感じがするんで、あそこがお好きだったんですよね。それで山猿になりましたって言われましたね。田舎でしたからね。
When was this published, and what was this about?
亡くなった時、これはずっと見たの。何年から何年、略歴がここに。私、その広島いう本はその頃読ませてもらいました。24年、25年でしたかね、昭和20。で、チスリキシンプソン、私の宣伝のシンプソンも出てましたしね。だからジョン・ハーシーいうのは忘れませんでしたけど。
Thank you very much for spending some time with me and telling me of your life experience. It's very, very beautiful to meet you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
After the Second World War, the Cold War deepened between the US and the USSR. US leaders strengthened their nuclear arsenal and tried to maintain their nuclear superiority. The USSR countered by building up its own nuclear program. Nuclear tests around the world created more nuclear bomb survivors. The arms race sped up. By the mid-1980s, there were more than 70,000 nuclear weapons in existence around the world.
My grandfather revisited Hiroshima in 1985, in the midst of global debate and protests calling for the abolishment of nuclear weapons. I met with Tadatoshi Akiba, who knew my grandfather in the 1980s. Akiba was mayor of Hiroshima and a leader of the Mayors for Peace.
Because I knew Hiroshima and John Hersey.
Akiba collaborated with John Hersey to bring U.S. journalists to tell the survivors' stories of Hiroshima. He invited John to return in 1985. I always think back to kind of some of the writing that he did when coming here in 1985, and especially the idea of the meaning of memory. In 1985, my grandfather came back to Hiroshima for the first time in 39 years. He revisited the 6 people whose experiences he wrote about in Hiroshima and wrote Hiroshima: The Aftermath.
A-bomb sickness, a nagging weakness and weariness, dizziness now and then, digestive troubles, all aggravated by a feeling of oppression, a sense of doom. The hell she had witnessed and the terrible aftermath unfolding around her reached so far beyond human understanding.
My grandfather broke his long silence and addressed the press in Japan for the first time.
I hope, as I think anyone who has the memory that Hiroshima can offer.
While in Hiroshima, he would write,
"Their collective memory remains the greatest hope for the survival of the human race."
To my mind, the word memories is a key to the hope for the future. Those children represented, past, present, and future, linked by a bond of the meaning of the memories. I want to hear from you in reference to the meaning of memories.
Memory of the hibakusha, about August 6th and afterward, that's very precious. And the memory from that period is especially important now, because the average age of hibakusha now is about 80. And so the time will come very soon that we cannot talk to them anymore. It's true. Yes, it's the hibakushas telling their stories to the rest of the world, thus making the memory of the atomic bombing and World War II more universal. So, that is one expression which I have just lived and placed in my heart and remembered quite often. The memory, his memory living in me, will tie him to the future generation. Mr. Hersey, John Hersey, Kennon's grandfather, who was the author of the book Hiroshima, and Mr. Hersey came to Hiroshima again in 1985, and at that point, it was John Hersey who said hibakusha prevented a third use of nuclear weapons by telling the world their experiences. Grandfather, through his writing, trusting the collective human memory, will guide us through. That's your grandfather's message, that yes, we can survive despite all these difficulties if we keep learning from the past through the memories.
What have so far prevented further use of nuclear weapons was memory. Memory of what happened to human beings at Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Reagan reinvigorates it in a very, very dangerous, frightening way and dramatically increases defense spending, dramatically increases our nuclear arsenal and its effectiveness, as well as making threats toward the Soviet Union. We've got protests in Europe, protests in the United States, around the world in the 1980s. So partly as a response to Reagan's Cold War fear-mongering and nuclear buildup, there's going to be a strong public reaction. So in that environment, people understood the dangers, and a lot of people were speaking up in new ways. In your grandfather's case, he was speaking up in old ways. And he went to Hiroshima and met with Coco and others. And it wasn't that you were not going to be criticized for speaking out, but it was that you had a lot of company and you felt like you were part of a real movement that had the potential to change the world, and we did.
That memory must be kept burning, like the flame in Peace Park. Somehow, it must be conveyed with all its heat and light to the minds of world leaders who so often seem to be forgetting it.
Staggered by so much raw flesh, Dr. Sasaki lost all sense of profession and stopped working as a skillful surgeon and a sympathetic man. He became an automaton, mechanically wiping, daubing, winding, wiping, daubing, winding.
Dr. Sasaki treated thousands of wounded at the Red Cross Hospital. Later, he opened his own clinic in the countryside of Hiroshima. He passed away in 1991 at the age of 69. His son took his place.
ちょうど10歳の時ね。はい。4年生ですけどね。言ってね、勢いの時に光ったのこっちの目が開いたですよ、光が。あ、目をやられた。目をやられた。家が。それはやっぱ原爆でやられたんだろうかね。そうですね。その時以来。それでね、帰ったら目真っ赤になったってなっとりましたよ。はい。どうします、未だに。未だにね。はい。意見ですよ。わかりました。それで死にとんだしね。ありがとうございました。はい。
So I'm here searching for both the story of your father and of the survivors that my grandfather visited. I'm searching his story.
まあ、これを読んだり、ハーシーさんが書かれた中の6人の人の一人ですね。
Do you remember your father talking about Hiroshima, about the bomb? Did he speak to you about the experience in the hospital, in the Red Cross hospital after, around that time? Did he tell you, did he speak to you about it?
1回だけね。Just one. まあ、ちょうど僕が20歳になったで、成人した日、その日に2時間ぐらい話してくれただけですよね。寝ぼけをして、それから数日間の日赤病院の中の状態、まあそういう悲惨な情景ですよね。思い出すことはやっぱり辛いことだったんだろうとも思いますしね。それをあえて一度だけはやっぱり伝えてくれたということが、まあ後にも先にも1回だから、それはですね、よほどの辛い思いをしたんじゃないかなとは思いますよね。何世代にわたってその影響がやはり出てくるということがもう今
第2世3世と出てきてますんでね、その影響も当然出るようなことだから、それはその時のひとときのことでは済まないということですね。世界の人たちにそれを知ってもらいたいとは思いますよね、当然。
In the countryside of Mukaihara, there is a church where Father Kleinsorg spent his last years. Father Kleinsorg, while suffering from radiation sickness, spent his lifetime supporting other atomic bomb survivors. I visited Yuko Ono, who knew Father Kleinsorg well. She showed me the parsonage where Father Kleinsorg had lived.
ちょうどまだ若い頃ですね。ここでね、よくお勉強しておられました。今、薪ストーブがありますけどね、高倉神様は、どんな寒くてもストーブなんか当たられなかったですよ。
Father Kleinsorg or Takakura, do you remember when you met him and what he was like?
高倉神父様は三笹からトランク一つでね、あそこの坂を登ってこられたですよ。私も見ましたから。で、今度ここの神父になりますからよろしくって日本語が上手でしたからね。
Do you remember him singing at all, or?
大きな声で歌っておられましたよ。ご機嫌がいい時にはね、ご機嫌が悪いのはね、やっぱし具合が悪い時、こうやって頭が具合が悪くてね、原爆症ですからね、時々あんなになられてね、そしてもう私はもうダメです、もう疲れました言うてソファへ、そしたらもう何も言いたくないのね。おつらかったんだろう思いますよ。硬いもう石のような木綿布団、もうそれもね、もう重たいから言ってこうやってのけられてね、寒いことない人は寒くなったらもう口も聞こえになってこういうふうにされるんですよね。もう本当に殉教だったと思いますよ、神父様は。母も原爆で私の人生は幕が閉じたもんだって言って死にましたね。母は白血病ですね、原爆症です、いわゆるね。それ知らないんです。ジフテリアになっただとか、いや非病院隔離されたりしてね。
Yuko Ono was born in Tokyo in 1929. Her family fled to Hiroshima from Tokyo in order to escape the air raids. On August 6, 1945, the atomic bomb exploded while Ono was working in a factory as part of the war effort. Her father and sister died instantly.
原爆にやられた丸裸の人がもうずらーっと並んでどんどん歩いて帰る。あれどうしたんだろうか、私たちが直撃じゃない、あの人たちが直撃弾なんだろうね、あんなにやけどをしていて。皮がね、みんなつるっとむけるんですね、ちょっと触っても。でここで節がここで止まるんです。だからみんなそこから痛いからこうやってね、お化けみたいにして。おいでこんな可愛い子でもみんなそうつるっと抜けて、お母ちゃんお母ちゃん言ってね、あれ見るのがつらかった。まあほんと今まで何にも言わないでね、言うと気分が悪くなるからね、私原爆の話をしてくださいって言っても言わなかったんですけどね、この間から初めてね、 でもまあ言うとみんなが嫌がるですね。流産4回しました。だから子供が1人しかいないんです私には。原爆だから仕方がないよって姑さんが言ってましたけどね。優子さん原爆症だから子供はできんのよって言ってましたけどね。まだね今頃原爆って言ったら皆さん常識が随分あるけど、あの頃は原爆症者の原爆がどんなもんってあんまり知らん人が多かったですよ。高倉新さんのお話言われたことをねほんと忠実に守ってね笑顔するようにしてたんですよ。そしたらねだんだん心が安らかになってねあんまり辛く思わなくなったんです、いつの頃か。
Thank you so much. It's very beautiful, your story, and you have a very beautiful presence in yourself, and I appreciate your time. Arigatou gozaimasu.
小野さん今日は笑顔がいいねって言ってニコッと笑われてね、辛い時には笑顔するのよ言って。
People I met had remained silent for so long. With my grandfather's inability to address or talk about Hiroshima, or decision not to, it certainly reflected to me in the many of the survivors' inability to talk about it. Hiroshima was written from the perspectives of the atomic bomb survivors. Taking the first person and writing about it as if he were the 6 people, he internalized that suffering, and I think that he also was unable to talk about the untalkable. So I feel like that's something that he shared with the survivors and something that he lived with his whole life. The shadow of the atomic bombs never left the survivors or my grandfather. I am on my way to Nagasaki, where another atomic bomb was dropped. Many lives were lost. How would my grandfather have told these stories? The memory of Yoko Ono stayed with me. Urakami Cathedral is on the top of the hill.
Urakami Cathedral is a sacred place for Catholics. It stands very close to the epicenter of the atomic bombing. The atomic bomb obliterated the cathedral and killed many Catholics.
1945年に原爆で倒壊してしまいました。爆弾が近くに落ちたと思って工場内のトンネルに逃げたんですけれども、空を見た時に黒雲を見たんですが、それが原子雲でした。
Shigemi Fukuhori is a survivor and a parishioner of this church. On August 9th, 1945, many children were celebrating the Virgin Mary at the church. Her head was later recovered from under the debris.
浦上では1万2000名信者がおったんです。8500名亡くなって、で私の 教材もなくなったんですけどね。村上の人たちは奇形児ができると言って結婚させられもうしなかったんですよ。だからそういうふうにも嫌われてしまったんですね。だから本当にね、もう女性の人たちはちょっとでもやけどしたなんか人たちは結婚してできなかったんです。ここに書いてありますけれども、結局この右側のこのドームですね。ドームがそしてあれから落ちてそのままずるっと滑って折れてるんです。飛んだんじゃないんですね。そのまま落ちてここだから土地がほとんど土でしたから、だからそのまま落ちてきてるんです。これは。
The atomic bomb detonated in the sky above the Urakami Cathedral and destroyed this sacred place. Parts of the bombed cathedral are on display as a lasting reminder of man's inhumanity to man. I visited the memorial hall in Nagasaki.
ここにありますのが被爆の体験記ということで最も大切な資料になります。被爆者の体験を、残してもらったものですけども、この中に直筆で書いた、体験の思いが書き残されています。非常に、我が国の資料としても大変重要なものです。これはこの場所だけで見ることができるもので、考えには出せないものです。で被爆50年に20年前に、思い起こして書かれた体験記です。この黒いのと白いのを合わせまして3万6,000人分の記録がございます。
This is where people pray and reflect on those who lost their lives in the atomic bombing of Nagasaki. Where the collective memories of the survivors are kept safe. The memories have begun to hold a new meaning. Regardless of how horrible the memories may be, sharing them gives birth to new meaning. The meaning of memories. My grandfather's words resonate within me. He must not have known the impact the survivors' stories would have on him. Giving meaning to memory inspires new art and actions. It is time to share the memories of Hiroshima and Nagasaki with the next generation in a new way. Through meeting Koko Kondo and other survivors, my own personal Hiroshima has come to light. The survivors lived through radiation sickness, but flowers blossomed like they must have in the spring of 1946 when my grandfather was here for the first time. I started to express my interpretation of the meaning of memory through art. So I call it On the Shores of Memory, because for me it was like the resilience of the survivors over 70 years inspired. A tree that was bombed and yet survived and continues to grow. The precious memories in light and shadow. The youth of Japan, the US, and China come together. Dialogue begins. Our challenge began with sharing the meaning of memory and ended with creating our shared future.
22歳ぐらいの若いお母様が赤ちゃんを抱っこして病院まで来て倒れられて、でお母さんがもう亡くなってるんだけど赤ちゃんが一生懸命おっぱいをこうまさぐってる。
This church for 39 years, 11 months. Thank you.
こんなひどいことがあって、でも彼女はそれを乗り越えて。
Okay. Shadow people are people who are outside of opportunity or destroyed by aggression or war. We learned about the people who became shadows because of the atomic bomb. Each one of us started to place meaning to their memories.
祖父と祖母が被爆していて、被爆三世っていう形になるんですけど、そういう若い人たちに求めることっていうのは
本人だけじゃなくて次々にそれが悪い影響が人類に及んでいく、その辺をですね、特に若い人は知っていただいて。
Creativity becomes a reflection on the past.
悲しい思いを自分のパワーにっていうか、そこから逃げないでほしい。
It's a hard journey, but I think it will make us all much stronger. Just pull us, okay? All right, then. Through dialogue with young people, a seedling of hope is born. This is a multi-generational search for memory and meaning. And a big part of it was the idea that it's not complete, falling apart, something that people recognizably see as Kenbaku Dome. But to me, it's sort of a reconstruction. So that was the moment, and the silhouette kind of gave me that intensity of image that I seek in my storytelling.
Is there any challenges during this whole process?
Through producing, for me, there's a great pleasure of working together with people, making things. The process of production is a collaborative process, which for me is very empowering. So this is a workshop, so I want you to get your hands a little bit dirty. I wanted to share with you a little bit. For me, these silk screens that I brought are partially before I came to Hiroshima, thinking about shadow people. So in these screens, there's a small representation of my reaction to my experience here. For me, it's like the Genbaku Dome, under construction. We have these as silk screens, and let's stop talking and make some art, okay? So, nice, good layout. Through art, each one of us considers what the memories mean as we share empathy and compassion. I continue my journey. I search for my own Hiroshima within my grandfather's experience and the experience of the survivors. There were silences. There are many untold stories. There are shadows. And there is no end.